Lone Star Gridiron is looking for interns. Over the years, we have helped dozens of students get jobs in sports media. If you want to shortcut your path to a career in sports media, click on the internship link on LoneStarGridiron.com. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Carlos Lynn from Crowley. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you.
You bet, you bet. So, first thing I have to ask you about is talk about being elected the president-elect of THSCA.
Wow. Very, very, humbling experience. It was my fourth time being nominated. So, of course, I was a little apathetic to the process just because the first three times I really on pins and needles. Just a little bit more relaxed this time. And man, it came through. So I was excited about it and just excited to be able to represent the organization and
Yeah,
to represent coaches all over the state and help all sports to be great. In the state of Texas, athletics is important, and I want to be a good ambassador for our sports.
I love that. And again, you've been in the organization long enough. You've seen what the president does. Talk about what that role entails.
You know, uh, the Texas High School Coach Association is in conjunction and with a lot of different organizations across the state. The UIL, the TASCO, which is the officiating. Even with some of this, we have lobbyists
Yep.
that go down to Austin when uh when Congress is in session to make sure that Texas high school coaches and the sports and athletics are not overlooked. So just being a part of all of those processes, rules, and just interacting and being a mediator sometime between the coaches and UIL and making sure that their voice is heard.
Mhm.
That's awfully important.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, what the other thing that's awfully important are the Crowley Eagles. So let's talk about them. Uh, Last year, 3-8, but it was good enough to get you a playoff.
Yeah, probably, I took people laugh when I say this, you know, I've been a part of state championships and deep runs, but that 3-18 was probably my best coaching job ever.
Nice.
Uh, those three games to get in, man, we had to really do some work to get that done, and we lost a lot of close games as
Oh, real
well.
close.
Yeah, so we thought we position our kids as best as we could as a staff. In some areas, in some positions, we were a little short, and we knew that going in. We knew it was going to be a tough hill to climb, but we found a way.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kudos to my staff and those players. Trusting the process enough to even fight those battles when it seemed a little bleak to
Yeah.
to keep going and fight for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, it's a much harder coaching job than a 10-0 team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So talk to me about what the off season looked like for the team, but also for you and the coaches.
You know, we felt like after reflecting on last year that we just we talked about those close games that we lost. Most of those games were just due to execution. It's just
Hmm.
us not doing what we were supposed to do. So that was probably the number one emphasis that we went into the season with, into the off season with, into our developmental season with is, hey, man, we got to do things right. We got to do things right all of the time. So that push the coaches to make sure that they were very detail oriented
Hmm.
and that we were looking for all of the small loopholes and all the things that, teenage boys tend to look over.
Yeah,
So that hopefully that translates into a football game that we will make sure that we clean up all of the loose ends. The devil is in the details. So we
amen.
want to make sure that we are detail oriented and we make sure that our kids are doing their assignment as they are coached to do it.
Excellent. And how do you get a returning team that's 3-8, how do you get them to believe, look, y'all can win 6 games, 7 games, 10 games?
you know, it's all investment.
Hmm.
Like I said, we have a 6 phase developmental season, off season process that we go through, and it's laborious.
Hmm.
Those kids have to really really put in the time and the effort. We ask a lot out of them, and but we feel like if you put in the investment, you will get a return on it, and that's the big thing that we do. We want to make sure that we do a great job of team building and making sure that our kids understand the expectation. It's to get to play in December, and that's always been our goal, and that's what we're going to continue to strive for.
I love that. Talk about what you have coming back from the team from last year.
Man, we got some real exciting pieces. Excuse me. Offensively, uh, Xander. We call him Xander. Alexander Herrera. He's a TCU commit at tackle. He's look like he's gotten taller, about 6'7", 6'8". I don't know. He's gotten bigger than me, around 300 pounds, and just a force of nature. Where he's going to anchor down at the offensive line. Our quarterback, he started our last 2 ball games as a sophomore last year and really showed us some promise. Antoine Griffin, and he's shown some great leadership and great poise. And he called all the plays doing 7-on-7, and very very trustworthy young man. And I'm looking forward to seeing him display his skills. In the backfield, we have a Kenyon Cotton. He's a 2 year, 1,500 yard guy. Never had a fumble as a high school running back, and just one of those bell cow kids.
Yeah,
He gets those tough yards, but he can also hit the home run. So we're excited about him. And then that slot receiver, Joseph Banks, is probably our most explosive guy. He's moved him from running back to receive to inside receiver. He's going to be doing a lot of jet motion stuff and a lot of bubble screens, and we just want to get the ball in his hands quickly because he can really, dial it up real fast.
excellent.
On the
Yeah,
defensive side, yeah, we got probably anchoring our D line is a kid by the name of Derek Ober and Rylan Fowler. They're going to be our two defensive ends, and looking forward to some great things from them. At linebacker, we have a young kid that's going to be a junior, Elijah Landfair, who had hands down probably one of the best springs of anyone on the team. So he's really really looking up. Our number one guy on defense is Amari Barty, plays corner. He's already committed to what's the name of that school? Lafayette, one of those uh what's that league? Patriot League schools.
yeah,
Real smart kid. So he's a two-time a runner on our state 4x4 relay team, and real leader. And then capping it off at safety is a young kid by the name of Jalen Proud, who's a sideline to sideline. He can get off the hash and make some plays. Looking forward to him to probably lead the team in interceptions.
excellent, excellent. And what kind of holes? Where are some kids going to have to step up and show us something?
Yeah, it's going to be the D line. The D line is probably our biggest question mark because although we were a 3-18, but people had problems running the football on us last year,
Hmm.
and we had I think I got 5 guys off that team last year that's going on to play college football
Nice.
from that defensive line. So that's probably the biggest hole that we're going to have to fill is just up front, just being with they were so experienced and and so smart. That's hard to replace all
Yeah.
in one fell swoop. So those guys got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, no doubt. And let's talk about district realignment happened this year. The district shook up a little bit. What does that mean for you?
Oh, I've lived this life before. Being a head coach at Cedar Hill, so uh, it's real challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to really keep our staff and our players understanding what this challenge is all about. It's very doable. It's not insurmountable, but it's going to take a little bit more extra. And that's what we've been doing all spring and all summer, is trying to prepare mentally for a weekend and weekend. There are no laying down. You cannot take no games off. So it's going to be important that our kids understand that going into this phase of district when that starts.
Yeah, no doubt. And who do you think are going to battle for the top spot there in the district?
We're gonna be right. We're gonna be right in there. We're gonna be sneaky good now, and hopefully we'll gain a lot more respect as this thing shakes up and unfolds. But of course, you're gonna have Duncanville, Waxahachie, North Crowley. I think Lake Ridge will be in the mix. Mansfield will be in the mix. So it's gonna be fun for those top four spots, and I think it's gonna be a few upsets in there as well. So I can't.
One of the things Texas High School Coaches Association is trying to focus more on this year from your programs. Tell me some good news.
Man, there's so many wonderful things that our community brings. A couple of years ago we passed a bond in Crowley, so we're right now brand new high school. We're gonna have a brand new field house, weight room, a softball field, baseball field, turfed, 3 practice fields. Time to be a Crowley Eagle. So hopefully, mid October, we're gonna move into the new site, because we're building the site on the same polished.
Oh yeah,
So we've lived a life of transition and buses. For really in the fall of 27. But that's things are going.
I love that. I love that a lot. And of course you alluded to you've got a lot of great stories in the kids themselves.
But our goal is to continue to push as many kids level as we possibly can. Every year we've averaged on various levels, Division 1 all the way to our goal is to always promote our kids, and if they want to play college football here in Texas, there's
Yeah,
so many opportunities to do that if that's what they choose to do. So we're going to be in their goals and their dreams, and we want them to be great men. So that's what we try to do.
I love that. Here is how you got into coaching. What made you get into coaching?
Wow. Fortunate and blessed enough to be on a state championship team in high school and at Wilma Hutch, on the conference championship team in a small school in Ada, Oklahoma, East Central University, 1993. So I've been blessed in my playing career. Communications major. I really wasn't feeling that, and Todd Graham in college. He's going on. He's been head coach at Arizona State. He told me that, he said, "Coach Carlos, you will be a great coach." In my high school office, and it just got me to thinking. And once I graduated, I went into alternative and got my certification, and this will be year 32. So it's been.
I guarantee a lot of kids are happy you made that decision.
Man, I certainly hope.
Love it. I love it. Well, Coach, gosh, I want to thank you so much, and best of luck to Crowley this season.
To share our story.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coach's Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coach's Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coach's Show started.